Greetings, one and all. Welcome back to the RP Geeks. I'm Sam Grayson, and it is time for the grand finale of Ghost Trick Phantom Detective. Chapter 17, 5:10 a.m. The upended submarine continues to sink slowly but surely. Long, long journey to the bottom of the sea. Lynn and the little lady found the darkness and the salt water closing in on them. At the very last second, something saved them. It looks down at them quietly. My head is filled with one giant question. What in the world is this thing? Something that shouldn't be functioning. Yeah, I figured. So you managed to survive, Detective. Hey, you're... Excuse my appearance. I seem to have lost my body. Oh, and you there. You're the ghost who's been saving Lynn all evening, aren't you? You knew about me all along? Of course. What else would explain all those unnatural things happening? If you knew, how come you didn't do anything about it all this time? How come you decided to save us all of a sudden? Thought you wanted to get revenge on us. I don't really know. Please, you gotta tell me. I need to know. Who in the world are you? Sissel, look at you. What happened? Can't hold on to that image of myself any longer. Can't remember who you are. That's right. I'm all this way tonight trying to chase down my lost memory. For quite a bit of tonight, I thought it was you, Sissel. Sissel? My name isn't Sissel. Bet you'll remember really soon who you are. Who I am, too. What? The man in front of me is not me. I'm even further away from the truth. Maybe not. Something is stirring in my mind. Memory about to emerge. Do I know this man? Now that I've shed my image of myself, I feel like I'm one step closer to the truth. Sounds like it's time for a little heart-to-heart. They got us good. It's all over for the submarine. Its engine room is destroyed, there's a hole in the hull, and it's sinking as we speak. What are you doing here? I thought you had to deal with those people. They betrayed me. I was a fool to trust them. They already have what they wanted now. The Temstic fragment. I didn't know they had it all figured out. You mean they figured out the source of your powers? Yeah, the meteorite's radiation has two effects on living creatures. It gives power and time. If you don't mind, we'd like to hear more. Radiation's power effect. These 10 years, I've been watching that junkyard superintendent do research. I think I've kind of got some of it figured out. The blue. The meteorite's radiation gives spirits special powers, like possessing and manipulating objects. And in my case, swapping objects. Exactly. Apparently there are individual differences in the powers we get. It seems those powers change as time goes by. They do? Yeah, my powers have changed over these past 10 years. First, I could only manipulate small living creatures. Now then, how do you suppose we got these powers? It's simple. It is? How then? In a nutshell, died while exposed to the energy emitted by the meteorite. It's radiation. That's what does it? Dying while being exposed to the radiation? On that day 10 years ago. A fragment of that meteorite pierced my heart and I died. So of course I received special powers. Hey, wait a minute. Is that how I got my powers too? I think you might be right. Did end up right over the thing. Aren't the Temsic remnants still right there in that park at the bottom of the crater? You're right. So that must mean I must have died in the presence of the meteorite's radiation too. But how, though? Or where, rather? Another effect the meteorite's radiation has on us is that it gives us time. Again, I think this time effect is centered around the theme of death, but it's not all that clear. So the fact that I could return to 4 minutes before a person's death is another effect of the meteorite? One of the characteristics of that meteorite is its ability to replay the moment of death. Replay the moment of death. Oh, this is also strange and confusing. I can't take it all in. Makes about as much sense to me as anything else. Yeah, strange and confusing. That just about sums up the object that pierced my body that day. It's that meteorite fragment. My very existence is a contradiction. What do you mean? That day, when the fragment pierced my heart, I lost my life. However, because it remained inside of me, that fragment continued to constantly regenerate my body. In other words, my body was continuously cycling between the moments that separated my life and death. What? My body's vital functions stopped 10 years ago. But my body's time is perpetually stopped at the moment just before death. Time just stopped, huh? So I just simply existed. Not really alive and not really dead. Pretty much sums up these last 10 years for me ever since that incident in the park. My body hasn't aged a day. My hair hasn't grown an inch. Come to think of it, that old pigeon guy mentioned something. He said he couldn't cut this guy's body with the scalpel. So I guess as soon as an incision was made, his body would be regenerated. Wow. And the whole revenge thing. Before I left this country, I wanted to do one thing. I wanted to get revenge on the people who stole our lives. Our lives? As part of the deal, I made those guys promise to cooperate. Cooperate? You mean the kidnapping? It all went fine. I manipulated the justice minister and made him issue the execution order. But I thought he might call off the execution at the last second. So that's why he wanted his daughter kidnapped. But they kidnapped the wrong girl. Little did I know, they had their own reasons for cooperating with me. Huh? Their objective was to wipe out everybody who had to do with Temsic. Detective Jowd was one such person, so they were happy to cooperate. Inspector Cabanela and that junkyard super, they were slated to be wiped out too. And as it turns out, I was one of their targets as well. I'm just noticing that Temsic backwards is Kismet. That sounds familiar. Hold on. Kismet means fate. Boy, that's fitting. Well, they stole my Temsic fragment, and here I am. But they had one more final target. Lynn. You, detective. Me? You weren't there in the park that day 10 years ago. I never would have thought of doing something as stupid as taking a hostage. Okay, but I was just a little kid playing in the park. Yeah, I know. Huh? 10 years later and you'd become a detective looking into Jowd's case. Tonight, I invited you to a quiet spot on the edge of town. It was a trap, you see. So that was this guy. I told you who I was. Never saw my face that day 10 years ago, so of course you didn't recognize me. I took possession of you to make you shoot me. Your subconscious resisted me. Such incredible power. First time I wasn't able to control somebody completely. The aim was off and the first shot missed the mark. Junkyard was equipped with security cameras. I knew you'd be wanted for murder. That was my plan, anyway. So he was Ray the whole time. Okay, but where do we come into all this? They had other ideas. They simply wanted you wiped out. Then, something threw a big monkey wrench into their scheme. I showed up. I was supposed to meet up with them after that, then something went wrong. What happened? My body disappeared. The inspector in white was responsible for that one. The precious bargaining chip was in that body. I had to get it back no matter what. The inspector caused me no end of trouble. Why were those people targeting me? Never even heard of the Temsic meteorite. So you were looking into the Jowd case. Thought you would find out about Temsic sooner or later. Okay, now what? And that's pretty much the whole story. All left to do now is wait for water pressure to crush the submarine. No. There are no cores that link from here to the water's surface. I have an idea. We hook up the phone line and... There are no communication cables down this deep. They meant for the submarine to be my coffin. A coffin for the dead. There's no escape. I think I kind of understand now. You've been feeling these 10 years. What? Feeling. Cut off from the world, all alone in a submarine. Sinking slowly towards the bottom of an endless sea. Must be how you felt all along. Lynn? Camilla! Is it true? We're stuck here? What? Oh, My dad was here. I bet he'd save us. Camilla, I'm so sorry. That's funny. What is it, Sissel? Something I don't understand. Why would they go to all the trouble of detaching the control room? What? Why didn't they just steal the Temsic fragment and escape if that's what they wanted? Why did they have to jettison your body off into the sea? That's a good question. I guess it doesn't matter why now. We'll never find it again. We have no idea where it was launched to. Wait a minute. Yes, we do. The radar. This will tell us where Detective Jowd is. It wasn't from the inspector in white. That's right. Detective Jowd told me to hold on to it for him. The bullet is still in this person's body in the command room, right? And we should be able to tell exactly where it is with this. But even if we find out where it is, how do we get there? We should be able to figure something out between the three of us. With our powers, right, Miss Lynn? Right. Oh, and wait a minute. What about a torpedo? Torpedo? In any case, it's way too early to give up. Detective Jowd is our last hope. Come on, let's get started. Grapes. What exactly is the plan here? Machine shoving grapes at me. He's probably for feeding him grapes while he lies in bed. Well, it sounds heavenly. Thinking about this for a while now, but don't you think the country's use of technology is just a little off? It's the guy who made a deal with said country. Anyway, this machine is a bit busted. The torpedo room, huh? Might be another torpedo left there. I'll go check it out. Oh, I get it. You're going to use a missile to ram the control room. Well, I don't know about ram. Don't want to blow Detective Jowd up, but something like that. We'll climb up to the torpedo room too. Up is definitely safer. Okay, I'll see you there then. Looks like the torpedoes can be launched manually with these switches. 2 tubes, so there should be one more left. It was loaded into the tube. There's the missiles, you can count on me. I'll enter the coordinates of the command room into the torpedo. And I just turned on the backup power. We'd not be able to use the switches now. Okay, let's try it. Good luck. The entire device is broken. Only I could move the switch. A way to move it somehow. It's up to us and our powers. You lend me your strength, missile? Yeah, of course I will. Count on it. There we go. Wow, I didn't think you'd switch the whole thing. Here we go. That torpedo looks serviceable. All set on this end, too. Something's odd. What is? Command room looks like it's slowly sinking. It's thinking. Yeah, like it's completely run out of power. Wonder what happened. I don't know, but I guess I'll find out. Right, okay, hop into the missile. I'll launch it for you. Okay, thanks. I'm betting we're gonna have to save Detective Jowd again. Already set the torpedo's course. We'll head toward the command room where Detective Jowd is. 12 seconds after launching, it'll pass by the command room for an instant. That instant will be your window of opportunity to jump over to the command room. Okay, got it. Then we'll find a way to come back and save you. That'll probably be my last task tonight. So hold on until we get back. Okay, come on, missile. Missile? I'm sorry, I can't go. What? Just can't. How could I leave? Can't leave Miss Lynn and Miss Camilla behind. I can't do it. Missile. I swapped the switches so the missiles can be launched. We'll have to do the rest, Sissel. Can't do it either. Can't ask Missile to come with me after that. I understand exactly how he feels. What about the other guy? I want you to go, Missile. What? But Miss Lynn, you staying here won't change our fate. But if you go with Sissel, you might be able to make something happen. That's our only hope. But what if that something doesn't happen? I'll never be able to see you again. Never ever again. Even I can understand that. I couldn't stand that. Don't worry, Missile. Miss Camilla? Just know you and Sissy can make something happen. I believe in you. I'll be right here waiting for you. We'll see each other then. Don't worry. Miss Camilla! That's a good boy, Missile. Now, are you ready? Remember, it's 12 seconds after I throw the switch. We're ready. Sissel? Yes? Never found out who you really were. That doesn't matter now. All I know is I'm truly glad I met you tonight. Thank you for everything. And I'm glad I met you, Detective. We're gonna see each other again, right? Right, Sissy? Right, Missile? That's right. We promised, little lady. Of course we will. I'll never forget you, no matter what happens. Here goes, then. Good luck, friend. These 12 seconds are lasting an eternity. Strive to think of a way to save Lynn and the little lady the whole time. Can a ray of light of hope reach this far down into the deep sea? Or I can think of an answer. The 12 seconds are up. Yep, that's what I figured. Detective Jowd! I bet that big masked man did this. I'm gonna bite him. Better not, it might break your teeth. The command room has lost power in the sinking. I wonder what this masked man is going to do. Talk to Detective Jowd. The other guy has a core. Sorry for the wait, Detective Jowd. Who are you? Are you Sissel? Please excuse my appearance. Can't believe you made it here. How was Camilla? What about Lynn? Well, it's kind of a long story. Told Detective Jowd about everything that happened on the submarine Yanoa. The submarine is badly damaged? Why would he do that to his own submarine? I wish I knew. I know the answer to that one. It's because he's afraid of my powers. You followed us? I didn't even notice. It's been 10 long years, Detective Jowd. Are you Yomiel? Yomiel? So you remembered me, do you? Could I possibly forget? So that's your real name, huh? Yomiel. That's right. Those people in the Yanoa were calling you Sissel. That's just an alias I was using for my deal with them. I didn't see any need to tell them my real name. Could you do me a favor? Could you at least let me ask you some questions? I've been trying to find out my true identity all night. Sure, go ahead. Sure, there's still plenty we can tell you. Right, Detective Jowd? Right. 10 years ago, you were a top systems engineer, weren't you? Systems engineer? What's that? By the way, I'm a top Pomeranian, you know? Well, it's kind of hard to explain to a dog, but it's a person who's good at using computers. I don't mean to brag, but I was one of the best in the industry. So I got roped into joining that project. Project? What project? Project aimed at reorganizing the nation's top secret information. The goal was to build a new system using multidimensional programming theory. I was asked to join the project by an agent of the government. Doesn't sound like something a top Pomeranian would know anything about. To me, it just sounded like another challenging job. However, the project was also the target of a secret plot. But you can imagine the kind of crime that nation's top secrets might attract. Never for the life of me I'd ever have to deal with spies. Never made public, but every organization in the country moved on this one. Then one day, the name of a certain program emerged as a suspect. I was the guy who built the core of the system. The police arrested you, and then that incident happened. Escaped from the interrogation room and took little Lynn as a hostage. By the way, Detective Jowd, when was it that I was proven innocent? About 6 months after your death. So sorry, Yomiel. Real motive for revenge. 10 years ago. The meteorite. My soul split from my body, and I lost everything. Sealed in eternal darkness. I existed in this world, no question about that. But nobody noticed my presence. What good were my powers? They didn't help anybody. Not even the passage of time could heal my pain. In fact, it only made it worse. I wanted to disappear. I wasn't even allowed to do that. The way Lynn described it is exactly right. Sinking slowly toward the bottom of an endless sea. An overwhelming feeling of loneliness and despair. I wanted all of you to suffer what I was suffering. And so that's why you murdered Alma. That's right. I wanted you to know what it was like to lose everything you cared about. I wanted you to feel the same pain I felt. It was the twisted wish of a mind poisoned by infinite loneliness. And then, as I was plotting my revenge, I had an idea. I came up with a plan to use these powers of mine to make a deal. There's something I just don't understand about that deal. I figured your powers would be very valuable to them, but what would you get out of the deal? New life? Life? I asked them for two conditions. Number one was that they helped me with my revenge plot. Second was a rebirth for me. Rebirth. A new beginning, eh? I didn't care if it was a fake life, an artificial life. I just wanted a physical receptacle for my soul. Name and identity in everyday life. I wanted to grow old in a society that would accept me. Finally, I wanted to die surrounded by a loving family. That's the kind of life I asked them for. Completely man-made life. That's right, I knew I couldn't hope for anything more than that. To make it all come true, I knew it would take a lot of money and a lot of power. I decided to ask a national government to help me. My response, in the end, was betrayal. They're making their moves much more carefully than I suspected. I sent spies to this country and researched my powers on their own. And they even figured out what Temsik was all about. You had no idea they were doing all this. None at all. I was a fool. So then, why did they go to all the trouble of making a deal with you? Why didn't they just steal a hunk of the Temsik meteorite from the park? They couldn't. Huh? After the manipulator incidents, research was conducted in this country too. A report was submitted to the government about the source of the manipulator's power. Inspector Cabanilla and the old pigeon guy, eh? First, the government didn't believe the report. Then they decided to put the park under surveillance just in case. Surveillance, huh? Just looks like an ordinary peaceful park, but there are armed agents there at all times. Don't tell me that odd leaflet guy is one of them. No, not him. He's just a plain old odd person. That park is like a silent battlefield on an international scale. That's why they couldn't steal the Temsik meteorite. Lately, under the pretense of building a housing site, been working on a plan to destroy that park in order to secure the Temsik meteorite. So that's it, eh? So the upshot of your grand deal was this, eh? Yeah, it's the ending I deserve. But at least there's one thing you must be happy about. What's that? Managed to seal me away at the bottom of the sea forever. Well, shall we get started? Started with what? Bringing Detective Jowd back to life, of course. What good will that do now? Well, we promised. We promised Miss Lynn and Miss Camilla we'd save them. Can't do that without you, Detective Jowd. Been guided by fate tonight to this place. So I won't give up now. All right, fine. Let's see where it leads us. Here we go, then. Back to 4 minutes before your death. Kira Queen, Daisa no Bakuden, Baitsa Dasto. So what happened? So, where are we headed? We are not headed anywhere, Detective. What? There's only enough fuel on board to launch us away, Detective. We will run out soon, and that will be our destination, Detective. What are you talking about? That would mean you're trapped here too. Oh, he's a robot. By the way, I am not human, Detective. I am a remote-controlled robot, Detective. Drew's use of technology is just plain off. We get that a lot, Detective. Why would you go to all the trouble to do this? There's nothing but a shell there. It's hardly a threat anymore. Commander Sith likes to provide against any possibility, no matter how small, Detective. Possibility? What are you talking about? There's no need for you to know, Detective. Goodbye. Now it is time to say goodbye, Detective. In the end, your fate remains the same, it seems, Detective. Milla, forgive me. And that's where we're at. Isn't over yet. It isn't? Remember what that big masked man said? Any possibility, no matter how small. Possibility. In other words, there must be a chance here somewhere. Possibility of turning the situation around. Okay. Huh? What is it, Detective? Look at Yomiyo's shell. There's no aura emanating from his body. Of course there isn't. The Temstic fragment is gone. This change in his shell. Some kind of lead. I figured it out. I know what this possibility, no matter how small, is that they're afraid of. What is it? My time was perpetually stopped thanks to the power of Temstic. Body cycle between the moment that separated his life and death. Right, but not anymore. The Temstic fragment has been taken away. Exactly. So what does that mean? Get it? Body won't come back to life anymore. The moment the Temstic fragment was removed, my shell became a regular corpse. Let's see. That means you can go back? Like the 4 minutes before your death? But wait a minute. Exactly when is that death? Simple. Find out. When we get there, let's move. Kira Queen, Daisa no Bakuden, Baitsa Dasto. Fell back through the cracks of time for what seemed like forever. Then I saw it. The final death at the end of this long night. Who exactly am I? Already seen all the clues. All I have to do now is remember. Final journey to the truth starts now. Ooh. Oh my goodness, I thought this was going to be the last one. Oh, there's still one more. All right. In that case, thank you all so much for joining us. If you liked this video, leave a like and a comment. If you want to see more, hit subscribe and the bell. And I'll see you guys next time for the actual finale. So long, folks.